Hey guys, Jason here, and it is that most wonderful time for some Duel Masters Mail Day. My older sister in Japan sent us over another care package, and what would a care package from Japan be without some Duel Masters cards? So yeah, I've already taken the bubble wrap off, so no mucking around. Let's just check out what we got. So, okay, first card I recognize. We've got Petrova, Channeler of Suns. I am having a hard time removing this from the sleeve. Just want to check how many copies we got. So there's one, and okay, so two copies. So one is the classic artwork. It's not the DM-9 version because that one is like, one, it's more expensive, and two, it's also like really sparkly. I like this kind of foiling a lot more. It's a little more discreet, and I think it's also more similar to the TCG style foiling. And then this one is, I think it's from one of the reprint sets, and it's obviously an alternate art Petrova. I think I have two, so three is not exactly a set, but oftentimes enough for a deck. Now, moving on, okay, let's see. Okay, I remember this one. This was a very fun purchase. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 copies of Quixotic Hero Swine Snout. I actually have one lone English version, so yeah, that's 3 additional playsets for some of our decks. Okay, I think this is a bonus. I don't recall buying this card. It's a little spooky, but also a little cute. And, okay, so they double sleeved it. This is like a perfect fit sleeve, so I don't know how they managed to stuff so many cards in. And, okay, so we've got some Bellix the Explorer. This card is like pretty, well, I don't say pretty hard to get, but it's not the easiest card to get. I don't think this card has ever been reprinted, and even in Japan, it still goes for a pretty penny. So, yeah, Bellix is a pretty useful card to have around. A lot of TCG ideas kind of use Bellix. Okay. Alrighty. Ooh, this is exciting. So we've got Ozesu Demonic Elemental. It's a pretty interesting card. It has sympathy for Angel and Demon Command, so that it costs 1 less for each Angel or Demon Command you have to summon. In the TCG, they're all like generally quite expensive, so not the easiest thing to leverage. But his other effect is when he attacks, you can choose one of your opponent's tapped creatures in the battle zone and destroy it. So it's actually not bad for trying to re-grab momentum or trying to like stabilize the board when you're under attack. So yeah, I think that guy is going to be pretty useful. Now another card, okay, Skeleton Vice. We've got a lot of Skeleton Vice. 1, 2, 3, 4 of this art. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 of this other art. So hopefully these are the last Skeleton Vices / Cranium Clamps I'm ever going to have to buy. We already have heaps, and I'm trying to keep it to like three Cranium Clamp decks per wave. So yeah, hopefully I shouldn't have to buy Cranium Clamps anymore. I mean Skeleton Vice. And I guess the seller just threw in a bunch of random stuff. Cool. Oh no. This is very tightly glad wrapped. Oh man. All right. Okay. Here we go. I'm okay. Okay. A bit of work to open it. So this is Elixia. I was about to say Brute Force Elemental. I think Brute Force Elemental is the DM Plays version. With this guy, he works quite similarly. So it's like 1k, and then for each card in your mana zone, he gets plus 3k power, and then eventually he can level up to Triple Breaker. So one of the cards from DM-13 we're looking to mess around with is Courtney the Summer Breeze Fairy, which makes all of the cards in your mana zone any color. So there's this natural pairing between Courtney and this guy. When you have Courtney out, this guy automatically gets Triple Breaker, so you don't have to have all the colors in your mana zone. I don't know how good that's going to be. Damien seems to be a believer. Andrew is not so hot on the idea, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, here's another card, and this is a card that I was very excited about. This is Pacific Champion, and there's going to be a playset. Yeah, so there's 4 of him. So his effect, this is another DM-13 card. It's a Merfolk evolution, and he cannot be blocked or attacked by non-evolution creatures. I think this guy is going to be a ton of fun. You can obviously pair him with, Crystal Spin Slicer, and make the water deck even more aggressive. I just really like this card, not just because it has merfolk I mean, not just because it's a merfolk. I think it's really interesting, and I think it was hit by the Hall of Fame at some point, but it's limited now. Okie dokie, speaking of DM-13, Judgment of the Flame Spear and Water's Blade. This card is really broken. A couple of months ago now, I did a video that was like spicing up that was called Spicing Up the TCG, and I mentioned how DM-13 didn't have any insanely game-breaking cards, but I think this card probably fits the bill. I think this card is insane. It's like, you blow up it's Searing Wave for both players, and then you draw a card for each creature destroyed. I guess I overlooked this card, but yeah, if you're playing with DM-13, you know, you gotta stock up on this. Okay. Oh, so we've got some Aqua Hulkus from what it looks like. I guess you can just never have enough Aqua Hulkus. So this is actually the base set printing. So we've got 2. So this must be a play set. 2 Aqua Hulkus and then another 2. Yeah. So hopefully this is the last play set of Aqua Hulkus that I'm ever going to have to buy, because I've also, like Cranium Clamp, you know, I've just bought too much of that card. Alright, so going back to the TCG, we're taking a break from DM-13 from the looks of it. Oh, I'm having trouble getting this card out of the plastic bag. We've got Gigabalza. So this is like Locomotiver, basically. We've got 6 copies. The auction just happened to come with 6, so it was like 300 yen for 4 or 300 yen for 6. I think I know which one I'm going for. Okay, some more cards. We've got 2 copies of Lukia Lex Pinnacle Guardian. Again, I'm having trouble removing it from the Ziploc bag, but I'm sure you can see that's Lukia Lex. Look at that, 2,500. I think Lukia Lex is going to be a pretty fun card. Oh, okay, so this one is wrapped or packaged very well. You've got... all right. So earlier I was talking about Ozesu. This card goes hand in hand with Ozesu. This guy's name escapes me. I'm about to say Agapitos, but Agapitos is from DM Plays. I think this is Asteria, and this is an Angel Command. Its effect is when your opponent draws a card outside their draw phase, you can draw a card as well. So this guy and Ozesu are going to work together to get Alcadius off the ground. Some more cards. We've got some Lucky Ball. Are you feeling lucky? Oh, I guess I'm not feeling that lucky because I couldn't get out of the plastic. Alrighty, so we've got 4 copies of Lucky Ball, because, you know, it's just a great card to have around. And we've got 4 copies of Tick Tick. So this guy is another DM-13 card, Speed Attacker, and when he attacks, you can draw a card. When we first tested him, he seemed alright, but these came in the same listing, so yeah. Okay, so some more cards. We've got some Cloned Nightmare. So we've got 2 playsets of Cloned Nightmare, I believe. I think this card is pretty unexplored in the TCG. I'm sure it's on a couple of people's radars, but I think we've only scraped the surface for how good this card really is. Okay, so here we go. Okay, just want to make sure nothing's in there. Aha! So we've got 4 copies of Courtney the Summer Breeze Fairy. So this card is meant to go with Elixia. I think Courtney is just a very interesting card in general. Like, even if you're not pairing it with Elixia, I like the idea that it's a 2-drop and it's actually pretty strong, so it can police the field. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else there is to say. I haven't really come up with any super special, awesome Courtney deck ideas, but I think there is a lot of fun that can be had with this card. I think there's potential. Potential is there. Okay. All right. Okay, so here we've got... so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of Fanu, Bloody Winds Officer, and 2 copies of Trombo. So I'll talk about Trombo first. This guy is a Wave Striker, and his Wave Striker ability is you can grab a Wave Striker from your graveyard and put it in your hand. I think that's really good, and being a 2-drop helps with the deck curvature as well. And I think I already have 1 Trombo. I hope we can get away with running 3, but yeah, we'll see if we need 4. But Fanu is pretty interesting. I think this guy could go into the outlier, so we might end up making a version that runs like Holion and Colon the Oracle and just goes hard on the speed attackers. Unfortunately, he does have a drawback effect, which is when your opponent breaks his shield, he self-destructs at the end of the turn. But, you know, I think Fanu is a pretty interesting card. I think he's one of the better cards in the set, at least given the TCG card pool. So, yeah, the experimentation is worthwhile, in my opinion. Okie dokie. So, I can see through the paper that this is Holion. Similar to Aquahulcus and Cranium Clamp, this is probably going to be the last set of Holions I buy, hopefully. So, yeah, just a set of Holion, because, you know, never hurts to have an extra set lying around. Wow, I didn't realize how much stuff I bought. I guess this was over several months. Okay, I had to remove this off camera because I didn't want to end up killing the cards. So this card, it's not recognizable to the TCG fans, and that's because it's another DM-13 card. So, okay, we've got 8 copies of Zacaranba Sword Fighter. This is a Dragonoid, and his effect is while all the cards in your mana zone are tapped, he gets an additional 2k power boost. So he is not the most impressive card, I'm willing to admit, but we are looking at a tribal Dragonoid deck, and, you know, being a 2-drop, he might be useful for that. The auction just happened to come with 8, so yeah. And the last bag we have is, it has quite a few cards in it, pretty exciting. And it is, okay, so it's a bunch of multi-civ spells. I remember this lot. It was, yeah, a lot of multi-civ spells. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 copies of Paradise of Sacred Burden Crystal. I know this card came out in DM Plays, and it's much better in DM Plays. I think the OCG version is like, it provides some sort of support to your multi-civ cards, but it's not that good. But okay, I guess I'll have to think about what I want to do with these 11 copies. But the main reason I bought that lot is because it came with this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And man, these are in great condition as well, if I may say. So this card is Stronghold of Lightning and Flame, or something like that. And what this does is, well, it's a shield trigger, as you can see, and it allows you to destroy one of your opponent's creatures with power 3k or less, and also tap one of your opponent's creatures in the battle zone. Now, I really like the idea of cards that can interact with multiple things, and especially if they're shield triggers. There aren't too many of those in the TCG. You know, of course, Burst Shot comes to mind, and Holion, of course. But yeah, I think this card is going to be really interesting. I think Hellscrapper made a huge impact when it came out in DM-14 back in the OCG, and even in DM Plays, like when Hellscrapper came out, there were a lot of decks that were running it. And while I think that card is a bit too powerful for the TCG card pool, this card might be a fair compromise for decks that do use light and fire. So we're going to experiment with that. I think that's going to be a ton of fun. Yeah, I just like this card's design very much. You know, you can interact with 2 creatures. It's not even like a straight up board wipe or board interaction like Burst Shot and Holion. Yeah. So I've rambled long enough. Let's move on to the last bunch of cards that I got. All right, so these are mystery. These are a mystery. They are face down. We've got, okay, so another Quixotic Hero Swine Snout. We take those, I guess. And alright, so a bunch of random stuff. So this guy is obviously a classic DM fan. I think this is some other Dragonoid. Of course, Windmill Mutant. And is this like Neon Cluster? I don't know. I am exposing my lack of DM knowledge. If it's not playable, I don't know it. And then for the next set, Hourglass Mutant. Okay. I don't know what this guy is. Frantic Chieftain or something. I know he's a merfolk, but he's not very good, and yeah, some other random thing. Cool. So here's a shot of all the cards. What an epic mail day. But anyway, thank you guys for sticking with me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time.